Here's a fact for you. The longest river in Jamaica is the Rio Minnow in Clarendon, boasting 92.5 kilometers. But the Black River in St. Elizabeth is the longest navigable river, spanning 53.4 kilometers. It's also the second longest river on our island. Welcome to another informative and exciting Monday edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Theodore Henry.
The Joint Select Committee of Parliament reviewing the Domestic Violence Act wants to hear from you. Review the act and share your opinions with the committee. You can find a copy of the act on the Parliament's website at www.japarliament.gov.jm under the heading Publications. Once you've reviewed the Act, submit your written opinions by Friday, June 14, 2024 to Clerk to the Houses, Gordon House, 81 Duke Street, Kingston, or email them at clark@japarliament.gov.jm. Let your voice be heard.
Good day, I'm Twyla Whelan, and this is your JS News for Monday, June 3, 2024. Jamaica and the Philippines have signed a communique to collaborate on the prevailing challenges related to human resources for health. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton and his counterpart from the Republic of the Philippines signed the agreement on May 30 as they met on the margins of the 77th World Health Assembly. The communique is the first step towards signing a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, by September of this year to advance cooperation between the two countries. That MOU is to explore, among other things, expanded training of healthcare workers in Jamaica, for which the Republic of the Philippines has the scope and the capacity. This will include the possible exchange of faculty members from medical facilities and/or training institutions.
The specifics of this will be worked out, but what we're signing today is an intent to dialogue around sharing of faculty, clinical rotation. Their faculty will visit Jamaica to expand the numbers that we can train because we're limited. Some of our people will go to the Philippines to train within their institution and do their clinical rotation, and that will hopefully lead to other things.
The two countries are also to explore a government-to-government arrangement for the recruitment of nurses in response to the shortage of specialist nurses in Jamaica. Dr. Tufton has applauded the Philippines on their willingness to collaborate on the critical issue of boosting human resources for healthcare.
And this is quite relevant, and I'm hoping it will be an example for many others to follow.
627 Jamaicans have benefited from free cataract surgeries performed between May 25 and 27 at the Mandeville Regional Hospital. The operations were carried out by a team of eye specialists from India under the Cataract Camp Mission 2024. It was made possible by the Florida-based Mind, Body and Soul Health Ministry in collaboration with the Patel Family Foundation. Consultant ophthalmologist at the hospital, Dr. Gavin Henry, praised the mission for their service, pointing out that they surpassed the number of persons anticipated over the 3 days.
I don't say this lightly because I've said this before that the surgery has been excellent, but I keep saying better and better and better because we've been seeing the patients after surgery and clean, pretty.
One of the good things that I really like about our team is that all of us, our focus is on the patient. So no matter what, we strive to do our best in order to serve them.
Government's Shared Prosperity through Accelerated Improvement Program, SPARK, continues to initiate consultations across the country to identify the priority roads for attention under the initiative. The latest consultation was in East Central St. James. Director of the Constituency Development Fund, Kedisha Rochester, assured residents that they could expect fully rehabilitated roads that should serve a minimum of 7 years and take into account special needs.
It's an inclusive approach. A lot of times our disabled community is left behind. You see the children sighting from taxi men. You see the elderly walking in the road. I don't like to see it personally. So guess what? The Spark will take all of this into consideration before doing your roads.
Member of Parliament for the area, Minister Edmund Bartlett, was there to listen to the priority roads of the residents.
This is the most fundamentally powerful and effective program for infrastructure in rural communities that has ever been conceived in the history of Jamaica. And we are determined to change the way in which the quality of life and the standard of living of our people in rural communities are positioned.
Of the $40 billion project, $20 billion is set aside for community roads. And of that number, each Member of Parliament will be allocated $150 million for work in their constituencies. The Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining will be providing 5 schools with bee starter kits, each valued at over $700,000 this year. The disbursement is part of the ministry's new bee starter program, which has a total investment of $3.1 million. The initiative is being done to foster interest and skills in beekeeping among students, to ensure the sustainability and growth of the industry. Portfolio Minister Floyd Green made the announcement during the World Bee Day celebration at the Bodles Research Facility recently.
We have to ensure that we are creating the next generation of bee farmers. We have to ensure that our schools are training our youth in beekeeping. The school is the best place to introduce our young people to the proper practices in relation to beekeeping, to the importance of beekeeping, to start them through their programs at school to start their beekeeping enterprise.
The 5 selected schools are St. Mary, Green Pond, Jose Marti Technical and Mount MacLeod High, and St. George's College. The kits include colonies of bees, hive boxes, bottom boards, bee suits, smokers, queen excluders, bee brushes, honey extractors and bee gloves, among other essential items. Minister Green also revealed plans to extend support to youth across the 14 parishes.
We're going to be choosing one young person in each parish, and they're going to be receiving a grant of $270,000 towards developing a starter kit, bees and equipment to start their beekeeping exercise.
And finally, Jamaicans are being urged to implement the necessary preparedness and precautionary measures for the hurricane season. The 2024 Atlantic hurricane season began on June 1, and the forecast indicates above average activity, with projections of 17 to 25 named storms, 8 to 13 hurricanes, and 4 to 7 major hurricanes of Category 3 or higher. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says this is among the highest forecasts issued by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. He was addressing a meeting of the National Disaster Risk Management Council held in St. Anne last week. The Prime Minister emphasizes that now is an appropriate time to assess the exposure of homes, infrastructure, services, productive activities, and workplaces.
So I take this opportunity to encourage all Jamaicans as we enter the hurricane season to, first of all, do your household preparations. Put aside food stock and water as much as you can. Make provisions for the protection of your important documents or valuables. Look at your home and see what is likely to be destroyed in a hurricane. Roof, windows, doors, trees that are in proximity to your home. Start making preparations to cut some of those branches that might become a projectile.
The Prime Minister is urging citizens to speak with neighbours and family members, especially the elderly and indigent, to develop contingency plans. Mr. Holness is also calling on the authorities to ensure that shelters are ready and operational, and for individuals to prepare personal items if they need to evacuate to a shelter. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Twyla Whelan. Thanks for watching.
We know you want better roads in your towns and communities. That is why through the SPARK program, your government is allocating over $40 billion over 2 years to fix your community and rural roads. 20 billion will go towards fixing smaller roads in every area, with 150 million allocated per area. The remaining funds will be distributed based on road length and condition, ensuring areas with greater need receive more assistance. Your government is caring for you.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Persons often hear that goods and services have increased due to inflation. But what exactly causes inflation? Well, here's your chance to learn.
Hello, I'm Anna. Thanks for joining me on another episode of Inflation Watch, where Bank of Jamaica highlights the factors that influence price movements in Jamaica. Now, at March 2024, headline or annual inflation, which is the general rate of increase in the prices of goods and services as measured over a 12-month period by the Statistical Institute of Jamaica Statin, was 5.6%. This is great news, as it marks the second consecutive month of lower inflation and the first time since October 2023 that inflation returned within BOJ's target inflation rate of 4 to 6%. When inflation is within the band, we consider price increases to be stable and predictable. Inflation as at March 2024 continued to be primarily driven by the increase in public passenger vehicle fares implemented in October 2023. The inflation number also reflected higher prices for some food items such as watermelons, pineapples, tomatoes, cornflakes, biscuits, and other pastries, as well as more expensive meals at restaurants during the 12-month period leading up to March 2024. The outturn for March was lower than the 6.2% a month earlier at February 2024, due primarily to a lower rate of increase for food and non-alcoholic beverages. The outturn was also lower than the peak of 11.8% recorded in April 2022. This lower inflation at March was supported by BOJ's tight monetary policy. That includes, number one, reducing Jamaica dollar liquidity in the financial system. Number two, holding steady at 7.0%. The policy interest rate, that's the interest rate paid by BOJ on the current accounts that deposit-taking institutions have at the central bank. And number three, maintaining a relatively stable foreign exchange rate, which continued to reduce the impact of imported inflation. Now that you are up to date on the factors that influenced the inflation rate at March 2024, let's check in with my co-host, BJ. He will continue to discuss the Consumer Price Index as he shares some more useful general information about inflation.
Hi, I'm BJ. Make we talk some more about measuring inflation using the Consumer Price Index, CPI, that basket of goods and services we buy that we talked about last time. It's about 330 goods and services in that basket, The items are put into 12 groups based on what people use them for. Statistical agencies call this classification of individual consumption according to purpose. What a mouthful. Each item in the basket is given a weight, which shows what share of their overall budget a person spends on that item. The more you spend on an item, the larger its weight. If rent is a large part of your budget and your landlord raises it a lot, big problem. However, if you only go to a nightclub now and then and the entry fee increase, it don't bother you too much. These weights make it easier to see how overall cost of living change from time to time. Taxi or bus fare and the cost of electricity are two other biggies, but you get the idea. Food and non-alcoholic drinks have the biggest weight, a little over 35%. That means food prices have the biggest impact on whether inflation is high or low. Next is housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels with 19%. Transport is another big group with a weight of about 11%. Time run out again. Remember, send me your questions. I'm BJ. Talk again soon.
Wow, great information. Thanks, BJ. And that's it for Inflation Watch this month. Join us again next time when Bank of Jamaica will bring you another episode of Inflation Watch, where we track inflation and explore the factors influencing price changes in Jamaica. I'm Anna. See you next time.
Join us next month on Inflation Watch to see what the inflation number will be.
Data from the National Road Safety Council shows that 90% of motorcyclists who die on our roads were not wearing a helmet. Don't let that be you. Wearing a helmet could save you and your pillion's life. In the event of a crash, the helmet can protect you against severe head injuries. Wearing a helmet can also help to reduce wind noise and light rays while driving. Let's work to reduce the carnage on our roads. Wear a helmet, ride safely.
We have all done major exams at some point in our lives, and from my experience, the process of it all was smooth. That's mostly due to the credit of one organization established over 130 years ago. Let's journey back in time to experience the creation of this crucial entity.
The project is really about a rebirth of the organization.
We are doing our best to preserve the legacy, to preserve the history.
Over 135 years of service.
With a major focus on digital transformation.
More than 50 examining bodies supervised. 300 plus examination centers across the length and the breadth of Jamaica. A testament to the integrity, reliability, innovation and efficiency of the Overseas Examinations Commission, OEC. This statutory body has been a staple in the Jamaican education system, administering secondary, post-secondary and professional examinations to citizens, all in a bid to ensure that the island attains its vision of empowering Jamaicans to achieve their fullest potential. Let's take a closer look at this entity.
The Overseas Examinations Commission is the public body that has been mandated by government to administer external examinations in Jamaica. And this goes back, of course, to 1887 that we've been doing this kind of work. But it was really in the 60s that it was formalized by the government. And a committee was established called the Overseas Examinations Committee to administer the examinations. And of course, OEC has been administering a wide range of examinations.
The Overseas Examinations Commission, in its current form, had its genesis in 2005 with the OEC Act, which incorporated the old Overseas Examination Committee. By April 1, 2006, the commission was published in the Jamaica Gazette, and in February 2007, the 16 commissioners were named. However, the government saw the need to co-opt the committee, making it a statutory board under the Ministry of Education and Youth.
The Overseas Examinations Commission came into being in 1887. That was close to 140 years ago, thereabout. It's begun at the Institute of Jamaica downtown, so we do share some history with the Institute of Jamaica. The first examinations were done by students who were children of British people who at the time occupied and lived in Jamaica. Of course, over the years, there have been many developments and many changes. In 1948, the University of Cambridge examinations were first administered by the Overseas Examinations Committee. Of course, the university put a lot of resources into organizing the examinations offices in Jamaica. And then by 1957, the University of London started administering its examinations in Jamaica as well. And those exams were, of course, administered by the Overseas Examinations Committee. So most persons would be familiar with the GC, O-levels, and the A-levels. Of course, there would have been many other examinations that the Overseas Examinations Committee administered. RSA, Pitman, City and Guilds, ABE, and in later years, a wide range of professional examinations. A big change came for the Commission in 1969 when the Minister of Education established what became known as the Overseas Examinations Committee. It was not a legal body, but it had responsibility to administer the affairs of the Overseas Examinations Commission. The trustees, 3 trustees, were still in place, and they were the ones who could legally sign any sort of agreement on behalf of the Overseas Examinations Committee. But later on, in 2005 into 2007, legislation was drafted to establish what became known as the Overseas Examinations Commission. So at that point, it was no longer necessary to have the trustees. And in fact, the trustees by then had all died, so that the Overseas Examinations Commission became a legal entity. This building has served us for many decades. From the 70s, we've occupied this building. And, but because of the risk involved and the fact that examination papers are clearly volatile, we have had to take the decision to construct a new facility and pretty much discontinue the use of this old building. But it has served us very well, and much as we'd like to preserve it, we are not able to do so. As a matter of fact, we were told that it's not on the Jamaica Heritage List. If it was, then we would not be able to demolish or destroy it. We have to make way for a new building, a new facility that is going to sort of put us in the digital age. The commission is made up of 16 members. Most of the members of the commission are stakeholder representatives from schools, from colleges, from the JTA. And the Minister of Education is allowed to select 4 state representatives. One of those state representatives happened to be the board chairman, and another is the vice chairman, and 2 others. But essentially, most of the members are stakeholder representatives, meaning that they're selected by the various stakeholder groups, including the Caribbean Examinations Council. So the pro-registrar, who happens to be located in Jamaica, is also a member of the commission. It's the only examining body that is actually represented on the commission.
Well, it meant that while the Commission still operates independently of the government, it still receives oversight through a board of commissioners. These commissioners represent tertiary, secondary, and professional institutions, as well as other agencies in the private and public sectors who have a vested interest in the island's education system. The OEC has administered exams for over 50 secondary, post-secondary, and professional bodies. Most Jamaicans would know the Caribbean Examinations Council, CXC, or the General Cambridge International Exams, GCE, but the OEC also facilitates O and A levels, to name a few. The OEC administers paper-based and computer-based examinations and monitors the sitting of over 70 certifying examinations. And not only that,
so Scantron, PSI, Prometric, Pearson VUE, and those exams carry a lot of other examinations and a lot of IT-related exams. We're also a center for IELTS, and this is the exam that's accepted by a number of countries, including Australia and Canada, for purposes of immigration. Yes, because it's your language competence that's important for them as well. We have assessment examinations for entrance to the University of Cambridge, and I think University of Oxford, their MRCP exam, MRCS, is now an electronic exam. Previously we did it in written form. University of London is a part of the Pearson VUE platform. We also do ACCA, both the technician and the professional examinations. And I'm sure there are a few I'm missing. But all told, it's hundreds of examinations that are available through the Overseas Examinations Commission. We built this without help from anyone. Like we were builders, you know, it was our project and we ran it, and I think we're very proud of what it turned out to be, and that has allowed us now to again sell ourselves to the market internationally as well. And then the latest major achievement is that we successfully completed the Stage 2 audit for certification as an ISO 2015-9001 organization. We're hoping to get the real word on the paper, but so far, indications, our emails and the report from our auditor suggest that we were successful. Perhaps that is a crowning moment for us.
This is we're committed to reducing the impact of disasters occurring in Jamaica. We're ever ready to assist you before, during, and after a disaster. But everybody have a role to play, so make we work together and follow the plan. Whether rich or poor or where you come from, hurricanes affect everyone, so be prepared. Prevention is better than cure. Be prepared. Listen to ADPEM. A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
We've come to the final stop of today's magazine, but the journey doesn't end here. Tune in tomorrow, same time, on this station for another informative edition of Jamaica Magazine. If you missed any of our happenings or you just want to learn more, visit our website at jis.gov.jm. From the production team here at the JIS, I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.